Today we are uncrafting the Azure Vault, one of the new dungeons in World of Warcraft, Dragonflight. The main dungeon takes place in a tower structure with no outdoor visibility, as we are supposed to be inside of a mountain. But where are we actually? Well, when I was able to glitch out of bounds, I discovered that the entire Dragon Isles for some reason is loaded inside of this instance. And we can see that we are actually inside of a mountain. Well, kind of. The mountain has actually been carved out, and the Azure Vault was literally placed inside of it. This is honestly quite unexpected, as there is absolutely no reason for the Dragon Isles to be in this instance. You cannot see them at any point during the run, at least as far as I saw, and yet here we are. Let me show you what I discovered. Here is the first view I obtained when I was able to get out of bounds. With such calming music, it's almost surreal how peaceful this area looks. But as we know, this white skybox isn't the truth. Moving further away from the instance, we can now clearly see that we are in the middle of the Azure Span Mountains, and we are in the southern section of the map, exactly where the Azure Vault should be in the open world. The Dragon Isles seem to have been cloned or replicated in order for the Azure Vault to be carved into this location. Why would they do this? Again, it seems utterly pointless, but I wonder if they were going for accurate size, so they just loaded in the entire map and just carved it out, which is something that Blizzard never used to do. For example, Karazhan is way bigger on the inside.
It is very small outside. It's just in here it's big.
Maybe they decided that they want to go full scale now. I don't know, but everything else isn't full scale, so I don't know how that's going to work. The view from outside of the instance is incredible. There's almost a sense that we glitched underneath the map, but have a much less chance of lagging out. Though that chance is not zero, as we'll find out later. When I got close enough to these waterfalls here, the music from Dragon Isle started playing, meaning that the music here is properly mapped to the outer area. I do not explore much of the Dragon Isles in this part, as I focus on exploring the area surrounding the instance, but there might be a part to this video at some point. One object, this Tuskar head, stood out to me, and the crystal beds sticking below the map were also quite cool to see. There's also a glowy thing way below us, but I'm not sure if that's a normal object in the instance or not. I don't really know. Hard to tell from this far away. It's also really strange that the water here is just kind of frozen like this without a barrier or anything. Usually water like this won't be even loaded in out of bounds, like it'll just be an empty riverbed. At least that was the case prior to Dragonflight. It looks like they've found a way to just cut the water off. Really strange. This cave here could be entered, but I'm not going to risk it for this episode. I'm sure it's fine, but I just don't want to risk it. After seeing a few amazing pieces of scenery, I scarily got disconnected, but thankfully everything worked out when I logged back in. So let's move on to my next goal, which is to obtain a view from above the instance, and this is what I saw. The whole instance turns white again, and there's a weird mist above. Looking downward, we can see a side section of the instance, and I think this is the entrance. I'm not exactly sure. When moving closer to the center, it's obvious that I will need to travel higher up in order to view the large part of the instance from above. It's a pretty darn big area, so we'll need to get pretty darn high. Even from this view, the area looks amazing though. It's kind of cool seeing it from a different angle. I mean, it's also got a weird like fog to it. It's kind of strange. Otherwise, we can strangely see an open door down there. Not sure if this is an asset outside of the instance or inside of it, and there is one that is farther out that is likely not inside of the instance. It's just kind of floating out in the middle of nowhere. Looking at these mountains here is very strange. They almost look like a broken eggshell, like very thin and jagged. Now we are much higher up, and we get a significantly better view of the large part of the instance from above, and it's very neat to see it from this angle. We can see the open door again a little bit better with the white background as well. Also from this high up, we can see how amazing these waterfalls look, and again how crazy the mountains are. At this point we can also see the fog that travels across the mountains. It's actually a static texture, not really an effect, like it's not caused by a fog machine or anything. It looks like it's actually an asset placed here, so I thought that was pretty cool. After looking at all the amazing scenery, I decided to glide down to the empty square in search of the hidden NPCs or whatnot. At this point, we are level with the ocean, which feels really strange, and we can even see underneath it. Looking around and seeing all the glitch textures is impressive and beautiful. At this point, some weird textures do pop in. Obviously, these are assets from above us, but with how much stuff is missing in this chunk, it's quite difficult to pinpoint exactly where these assets came from. Let me show you the rest of the square, and then we'll conclude the video afterwards. When we come back here for a future video, we will look for interesting scenery in the Dragon Isles themselves, and we'll see what lies out of bounds outside of the Azure Vault area. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all to my subscribers and patrons. The patrons' names are now on screen, and if you'd like to join Patreon, then click the link in the description. Thank you all again. I will see you guys in the next UnCrafting episode.